All right, Miles, let's talk about the New Orleans Saints here for a little bit. This is a team I love to talk about this team because they're so darn talented. I feel like they have a lot of great players. They just need to, make a few key moves at some key areas to make that final push to put them back in the playoffs, Miles. And I think we just saw the Saints make a really smart move to be the first step of many moves to get them where they want to be.
Yeah, Nick, and speaking of where you want to be and smart moves all in the same realm, the Saints are going to have to make some smart moves to get to where they want to be in the salary cap division, which they are currently not where they want to be. So there's going to be some cuts. There's going to be some cap casualties, so to speak. And I want to know from the Saints fans, who would you have on your list of guys that maybe aren't living up to their contracts, guys that you wouldn't mind seeing move on from the team? Let us know in the comments below on who you think the Saints will cut this offseason. But Nick, what do you got on the Saints? What smart stuff are they doing?
Right. So anytime you're in the offseason, right, and you're looking at moves at this point in the game, now that we're in the middle of February, you're just trying to see what direction a team's going to go in, because you kind of get the feel, right? Obviously, if they fire their head coach and fire their GM, they're going to bring in a whole new thing. They're in a total rebuild. That's like the Cardinals, for example, or they're like the Raiders, who are like, hey, we're going to retool quarterback. We're going to keep everything else in place there, but we're going to retool quarterback because we feel like we're just a good quarterback away. And then you have the New Orleans Saints, right? They had one of two directions to go, like you alluded to with their salary cap situation. They could blow up the entire roster, right? Cut everybody essentially, tank this season, and kind of restart over. Or they can start restructuring deals and feel like they have the talent to be one or two key moves, most likely at quarterback position, away from winning that division. And it looks like the Knights are taking door number two. This is according to ESPN insider Phil Yates. He reported that the New Orleans Saints have restructured the contract of safety Marcus May. According to Yates, the Saints have created nearly $4.9 million of cap space by converting $6 million of May's 2023 compensation into a signing bonus. Now, obviously, that's not a huge amount of cap relief this year, but what that does two things. One, that's not eliminating his cap hit. That's just extending it out over the life of his contract. So when you convert from a salary to a signing bonus, let's say his salary was $6 million for 1 year this year, but he had 3 years left on his contract. If you convert that to a signing bonus, then it's 2, right? 6 divided by 3. So what does that mean, Miles? It means they're trying to free up cap space for a key move this year. And to me, that means they're going after most likely the quarterback position because they believe that they are one move away, one good quarterback away from winning the NFC South and returning back to the playoffs. So I think this is an interesting move from the New Orleans Saints. I think this is the first of many big-time moves coming out of the Saints very, very soon this offseason. What do you think, Miles? What do you think the direction the Saints are going right now?
Yeah, I think they are a quarterback away from being a solid team in the NFC South, another division that has a lot of question marks at every single part. No one knows what the Falcons are going to be. No one knows what the Panthers are going to be, Nick. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, no one knows what they're going to be either. So I think it's a race in this division of the first team to make that move at quarterback. But using May, getting the contracts right, getting the, doing all of the little stuff, a restructure here, a restructure there really adds up in the dollars department. Like you can do a few key restructures, a few key cuts, and get yourself a lot closer than you think you're going to be. And I think making that move for the quarterback position is going to be huge because, as you said, their defense, top tier. If they can keep a lot of these key pieces, they have some elite players on this defense. Then offensive line, your tackles, you're pretty good there. The interior is probably your weaker part, but they seem to be okay. And then you got some great young guys at receiver, especially looking at Chris Olave. Who knows what they do with Michael Thomas? That could be another cut. But I think this is a team that's primed and ready to go. And I think by restructuring May's contract, this sets them up beautifully, as you say, for a go at the quarterback position, whatever they decide to do. I don't know how they're going to get there yet, whether it's through the draft or through free agency, but I think they're going to make a big move at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, and just to be clear, right, obviously the cap space they freed up this year by restructuring May's deal, that's not going to be the difference, right? What it shows to me, and I think it's sending the message to the rest of the league as well, is that they are committed to this year, right? Because if they weren't committed to this year, they obviously wouldn't they wouldn't extend his salary cap hit over future years, right? So they're committed to try and bring in a veteran quarterback this year. I don't think it's the draft, obviously, where they're drafting from the Denver Broncos trade. I think it was originally the Miami Dolphins, then to Denver, then to New Orleans with the Sean Payton trade. I don't think you're getting a quarterback right at that. I think at 29, that's going to be good enough to play right away, especially how top heavy this quarterback draft class is. So I think most of the guys are going to go that are ready to play in the top 10 area. So I think they're going after veteran. I don't know if it's Derek Carr. I don't know if it's Jimmy G. I don't know if it's someone else. There's a lot of potential names floating around right now. But I think the fact here, Maya, is that this is the first of many restructurings to free up enough cap space this year to bring in a veteran quarterback. And I think right now, if you're a Saints fan, just wait for a few more of these moves. You're going to start seeing these kind of other restructurings trickle in, and then bam, wait for the big quarterback signing, because I think it's right around the corner.